everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Friday, January 24th. I hope all of you have plans for this weekend. We've got something special to tell you about on Saturday, but you'll have to wait until the end of the show to find out what that is. You'll want to make plans. On today's show, we have Envision Eye Care Centers with Dr. Raouf. She's going to be telling us when it might be time to get cataract removal surgery. And later in the show, we've got Sports Corner with Cole Young. He's going to give you all the latest updates on all sports. But first, we want to tell you about the Facebook page. Folks, you need to get over to the Facebook page and utilize the Laguna Woods Village page for all the latest news and updates from around the village. You need to like and subscribe. We need to get these numbers up. We've got 3,500 likes and 4.3 thousand followers. So let's get those numbers increased. Like and subscribe. Go to facebook.com/Laguna Woods Village. Next up, let's take a look at our weather. Today's high is going to be 72, and as you can see, folks, we're tapering off toward the weekend. We do have a system coming in that's going to bring us some later afternoon PM showers on Saturday, 30 to 40% chance of rain showers on Sunday, and then hopefully it'll be departing on its way out on Monday morning. We've got a few AM showers on Monday, but looks like we're going to be coming into more sun mid next week. Temperatures are dropping, so make sure you take your jacket and scarves when you go out this weekend. Sunrise and sunset, let's take a look. Sunrise was at 6:51 a.m. Sunset will be at 5:14. This is a beautiful photo, sunset photo, sent to us from Mark Weiss, Newport Beach. Absolutely gorgeous. Please send us your photos so we can use them on our sunrise sunset. Email those to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Please send us your name, where the photo was taken from, and in a horizontal format, please. Next up, we've got a meeting to tell you about, and then after the break, stay with us because we have Dr. Raouf with Envision Eye Care Centers.
Welcome to Envision Eye Centers, conveniently located next to Laguna Woods. We offer cutting-edge technology that meets unsurpassed service.
You and your eyes are my priority. We will treat you with the utmost care and compassion.
Some might offer local exams, but they'll send you on a trek for surgery. Skip the unnecessary travel.
You can be confident that we will deliver the best outcome for your eyes.
Schedule your consultation today and see the world clearly. Call us or visit our website. No inconvenience, just expert care.
Welcome back, and our next guest is going to be telling us all about cataracts, cataract treatment, things that I want to know about, and I'm sure you do too. From Envision Eye Centers, we welcome Dr. Raouf.
Thank you, Bree. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We've got such important talking points that we need to share with our viewers, and I'm super curious about all of them as well, and especially the topic of cataracts.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them. I've known one person who had cataract surgery, but I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I didn't, like you hear it, and you know, you hear it a lot for canines.
Yeah.
That's where I originally started hearing about it.
Right.
And then I understood, well, actually people have it
Humans
too.
can get it too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So take me to the basics.
Great.
What causes this condition?
I'll take a step back even further and tell you that this is the most common surgery that I do, and it is my favorite surgery to do.
Oh my goodness.
I actually decided to go into ophthalmology my very first month of medical school. And during the first year of medical school, you're supposed to just kind of explore all the different specialties and see what you like. I shadowed an ophthalmologist that very first month, and he was doing cataract surgery all day. And I just fell in love with the surgery. It's a quick, elegant, very delicate surgery that achieves such a high impact in our patients' lives. And after that one day, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do for life. And I went through medical school learning, I loved OBGYN, I loved interventional cardiology, I loved thoracic surgery. But then at the end of medical school, I came full circle back to cataract surgery and ophthalmology, and I knew this is what I want to do every day.
Wow, that's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you. So what is a cataract? A cataract is cloudiness of the natural lens that's in our eye. So every eyeball has a lens inside it, and there are two qualities about that lens that make it special that we've been created with. The first quality is that the lens is clear. And as we age, and usually this starts in our 50s and our 60s, that this lens loses its clarity and it becomes cloudy. And when the lens becomes cloudy, we call it a cataract. Sometimes there is a misconception that I hear from patients. They think that the cataract is something that grew inside the eye.
That's what I thought it was.
And that when we remove it, we're just taking that extra thing that grew.
Right.
That's not true.
That's not
A
true.
cataract means that your own lens, which was clear, has now become cloudy. And when we do cataract surgery, we remove that whole cloudy lens and we replace it with a clear artificial lens implant.
Okay, this is interesting because the person that I knew that had this procedure done, it was almost as if there was a mirror in his pupil.
That's the artificial lens that you're seeing.
There was a reflection. And I was like, do you have bionic eyes now or what?
It kind of looks like that because the way that the artificial lens reflects lighting is different from the way our natural lens, which is made up of protein and collagen, is different. So most people can't notice that. When I stand in the elevator with a bunch of people and I look around, I can tell who's had cataract surgery and who hasn't, but that's just because that's my specialty. That's what I do. But most people can't notice. But let me take you back to the other quality about our natural lenses that makes it special. So first we talked about the clarity, and loss of the clarity is cloudiness. That's called a cataract. The other quality about our natural lens that makes it special is that it's gummy and it flexes. So when we're young, the reason why we're able to see far, intermediate, and close-up, see the computer, see the phone, see the traffic light, without thinking about it, without glasses, is because our natural lens has the ability to flex. It has that flexibility to it that allows us both far and close-up vision. It autofocuses. Starting our early 40s, we start losing that flexibility. The lens becomes harder, more rigid. It no longer has that gummy, flexible nature. And that is why we start losing our close-up vision over time. That's why in our 40s and our 50s, we start grabbing reading glasses. By our 60s, we are totally dependent on those reading glasses. We need to see the close-up. So when I do cataract surgery and I remove the cloudy lens and I replace another artificial lens, that artificial lens that is placed, we have a lot of different options of what kind of artificial lens is a good option. And when a patient comes in to see me for a consultation, we do lots of measurements of the eyeball geometry and the overall eye health to determine what lens implants that patient is a candidate for. And some of them allow patients to see both far and close up without reading glasses again. So it's able to restore that full range of vision that they used to have when they were younger.
So that was one of my questions is how do people know whether it's a cataract or whether their vision is just, with time and with age,
Yeah, so
it's just decreasing.
a simple eye exam can demonstrate that. Usually, if patients are able to correct their vision with glasses or contact lenses to great vision, like 20/20, most likely their cataracts are not at the point yet where they need cataract surgery. It's typically when the vision is cloudy or blurry despite wearing glasses, despite wearing contact lenses, that's when you know that your cataract is visually significant.
Sure.
Other symptoms that people have are glare at night or starburst, and that's a very common symptom I hear from my patients. They feel like their vision during the day is fine, but they get in their car trying to drive somewhere at night and they're almost blinded by all the lights, lots of glare, lots of starbursts, and that is from the cataract as well. And if it's at the point where they feel like it affects their ability to drive, it makes them feel unsafe, then that's also an indication that it is time to have cataract surgery or at least consider it.
Consider it. Does the body reject the cataract at any point?
So the cataract is the normal part of the natural anatomy of the eye. But when we do the surgery and we take out that cloudy lens and replace it with an artificial lens, the body does not reject it. These lens implants have been used in humans for over 100 years now, and they made up of a biocompatible material that is inert. So it does not interact with the natural tissue that's inside the eye, and the body does not reject it.
Mm-hmm. And so so sorry for, not being so naive about
those are
all
great
of this.
questions.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just find this fascinating. So the implant, does it go underneath what we see as the top of the eye?
Yeah. So
because otherwise I would. I'm trying to envision this, and it's not like a contact lens where it's over the top, right?
Correct.
It's actually
it goes inside. So
it doesn't move around.
Correct. So behind the colored part of our eye, which is the iris, behind it there is a structure called the capsule, which is basically like a bag that's naturally in our eye that holds the natural lens in place. And when we do cataract surgery, we remove the natural lens from within that bag and we put the new artificial lens inside that bag. So the artificial lens is secured in place behind the colored part of the eye.
Fascinating. kind of like gives me the creepy. And that doesn't bother you, obviously, right?
Oh no, I love this.
Oh my goodness.
But in general, anything that has to do with eyes and anything that has to do with vision, it can make some patients kind of shocked or feel anxious. And I tell my patients that that's completely normal. Even a lot of doctors that are not eye surgeons may feel kind of squeamish when it comes to eyes. But this is what we do.
About
so,
it. It feels like such a vulnerable part of our anatomy.
Right, and I feel that vision is our most important sense. Blindness or loss of vision is very debilitating, and no one wants to have reduced or limited vision. And that's why we love what we do, and that's why we're so fortunate that we have the surgery that can restore patients' vision.
Absolutely. So do you use a use of laser for the cataract surgery?
Yeah. So the laser is called the femtosecond laser. It's very similar to the laser that we use in LASIK, but it's doing something completely different, and it's not actually LASIK. What the laser does is it creates the incisions on the eyeball for me to go inside the eye. You know how I told you that the natural lens or the cataract sits inside a capsule?
Yes.
The laser will actually open that capsule for me in a perfect circular opening, and it will also break up the cataract into tiny pieces. So think of the cataract as a piece of M&M candy. It's literally that size and shape. It's very tiny and it sits behind that colored part of the eye. The laser, is going to cut that M&M into a bunch of pizza slices.
Oh, interesting.
It's very precise, very gentle on the eye. And then I go in and I remove those little slices of that M&M, and I clean that capsule, I polish it, and then I put the new lens implant in its place. So the laser allows the surgery to happen in a much more precise way, less inflammation, less swelling to the inside of the eye, because there's just less trauma. The laser is doing all these steps that are chopping up the lens. So that typically translates to faster recovery of the vision, so patients are able to see better faster, and a reduced rate of complications. The rate of complications to begin with is already extremely low. It's less than 1 in 1,000 theoretically.
That's peace of mind.
Yeah, so the laser just further augments that.
Right. Wow. Absolutely fascinating. Dr. Raouf from
Thank you.
Envision Eye Center, thank you so much for being here with us.
My
Come back
pleasure.
because I want to talk to you about LASIK.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. You're watching This Day on Village TV. We'll be back after these messages.
At Pro Smiles OC, we believe your smile is more than just an expression, it's your confidence. Dr. Ivan Ho, board-certified cosmetic dentist in Orange County, has transformed thousands of smiles here in Laguna Woods. From dental implants to Invisalign and cosmetic dentistry, our team at Pro Smiles OC is devoted to restoring and enhancing the beauty of your smile using state-of-the-art procedures that result in long-lasting smiles. Visit our website to schedule an appointment or give us a call today.
Hello and welcome to this Friday's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and this week is one of the most important weeks in all of the sports world, so I'll get right to it. To start, the Ohio State Buckeyes are college football national champions for the 9th time and the first time in over a decade. The Buckeyes, seated at number 8 after a late season stunning loss at home to Michigan, dominated during the playoffs, winning the national championship game against number 7 Notre Dame, 34-23 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta on Monday night. It was a rocky start to the game for Ohio State, though. On the opening drive, Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard ran the ball 9 times and capped it off with a 1-yard touchdown run to put the Irish up 7-0 early. That drive ate up nearly 10 minutes off the clock, and Ohio State looked to be in trouble. But that trouble didn't last too long, at least for now. Ohio State quarterback Will Howard led the Buckeyes to 3 straight touchdown drives, throwing touchdowns to Jeremiah Smith and Quinshon Judkins, and Judkins would run one in as well. At halftime, Ohio State was up 21-7 and was in complete control. The Buckeyes didn't stop the scoring there. Quinshon Judkins opened up the second half with his 3rd touchdown of the day, followed by a field goal just a few minutes later. Ohio State was up 31-7 and the game looked to be over. However, that's when the tide would shift. Riley Leonard would lead the Irish on a 10-play, 75-yard drive, which ended with a 35-yard touchdown to Jaden Greathouse. After a successful 2-point conversion, the score sat at 31-15, and Notre Dame was right back in it. On the ensuing drive, Ohio State receiver Emeka Egbuka would fumble and it would be recovered by Notre Dame. The Buckeyes were right back in trouble. Notre Dame had a chance to capitalize and cut down the lead, but would end their drive with a missed field goal attempt. Defense came up big for the Irish, though, as they forced Ohio State to punt on the next drive. Another Greathouse touchdown and 2-point conversion for the Irish cut the lead down to just 31-23, and it was anyone's game at this point. After several tackles for loss, the Buckeyes were looking at a 3rd down and 11 with the game on the line. Will Howard then unleashed one of the most beautiful deep balls I've ever seen, and it was complete to Jeremiah Smith for 56 yards. The Buckeyes would kick a field goal, and the championship was sealed. Howard finished his day throwing for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as running for 57 yards. For Notre Dame, Riley Leonard put on an incredible performance as well, throwing for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as running for 40 yards and a touchdown. I mentioned Emeka Egbuka's game-changing fumble earlier, but that doesn't take away from what their talented receiver has done with his time at Ohio State. The senior wide receiver recorded 6 catches for 64 yards in the championship game, and with his 205 career catches, Egbuka is now Ohio State's all-time receptions leader. If you know the amount of talented receivers that have come through Ohio State, you know that this is an enormous accomplishment. Moving on to the NFL playoffs, only 4 teams remain and will be fighting for a shot at a Super Bowl title this weekend. Stop me if you've heard this one before, but the Kansas City Chiefs are headed to the AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes connected with Travis Kelce 7 times for 117 yards and a touchdown, and the Chiefs' pass rush dragged Houston quarterback C.J. Stroud to the ground 8 times, and Kansas City rolled to a 23-14 victory over the Texans that sent the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions to the AFC title game for the 7th consecutive season. The Chiefs are the 4th team in NFL history to follow back-to-back Lombardi trophies by advancing to the conference title game. Houston only managed to score 1 touchdown of the day on a 13-yard rush from Joe Mixon. The Texans' defense played well, but not enough to contain the Chiefs, and committed a few very costly penalties at some very inopportune times. The Chiefs had to wait until Sunday to see who they would be facing for a chance to play in yet another Super Bowl. Later on Saturday, we had arguably the best game of the week, maybe even the season. Rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels shocked the world as he led the Washington Commanders to an upset win over the top-ranked Detroit Lions. Daniels threw for 2 touchdowns with 0 turnovers, and fellow rookie Mike Sainristil had 2 interceptions, both putting on incredible performances that helped Washington beat Detroit 45-31 on Saturday night to reach the NFC Championship game for the first time since winning the franchise's 3rd Super Bowl 33 years ago. The 6th-seeded Commanders were massive underdogs against the Super Bowl favorite Lions and overcame all odds as they did all season with a new quarterback, coach, owner, and general manager. The Lions' downfall was turnovers on offense. Jared Goff threw 3 picks and lost a fumble, and turning it over 3 times in the first half alone. He finished 23 of 40 for 313 yards with a touchdown pass to Sam Laporta that gave the Lions their last lead midway through the second quarter. Washington outscored Detroit 28-14 in the second quarter, which was also the highest scoring quarter in NFL playoff history. Just like the Chiefs, the Commanders then had to wait a full day to see who would stand in their way of a Super Bowl appearance. They didn't have to wait too long, however, as the Eagles and Rams kicked off their NFC divisional game to start Sunday. On a cold, snowy Philadelphia day, Saquon Barkley continued his historic season by running through the snow for touchdown runs of 78 and 62 yards and finished with 205 total yards rushing. Jalen Hurts had a 44-yard scoring run, and the Eagles held on against the Rams 28-22 to reach the NFC Championship game for the 2nd time in 3 years. It came down to the wire, though, as the Rams almost took a late lead. Matthew Stafford threw for 324 yards and kept the Rams in it with a late 4-yard touchdown pass to Colby Parkinson that made it 28-22. The Rams got the ball back with 2 minutes left, and Stafford completed passes of 11 and 37 yards to move the ball into Eagles territory. But with the game on the line, the clock ticking, and no timeouts, Stafford was sacked by Jalen Carter on 3rd down and threw an incomplete pass on 4th down to end the game and the comeback effort. Later that day, we had the game of the year on the slate. The Bills and Ravens were all set for another snow game in Buffalo. It was a slow, calculated chess match of a game, but ultimately the Bills' defense is what propelled them to a win. MVP frontrunner Josh Allen rushed for touchdowns of 1 and 4 yards, but he threw for only 127 yards and rushed for just 20. Buffalo finished with a modest 273 yards of total offense that included rookie Ray Davis scoring on a 1-yard touchdown run. The Bills allowed 176 yards rushing and 416 overall to the Ravens, but compensated by forcing 3 turnovers. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry still put on incredible performances, and the game was still very much within reach with 1 minute remaining in the 4th. Jackson threw a 24-yard touchdown pass to Isaiah Likely to make the score 27-25 with 1 minute and 33 seconds left in the game. The Ravens had to convert the 2-point conversion to keep their hopes alive, but a heartbreaking, wide-open drop pass by tight end Mark Andrews in the end zone would mark the end of the Ravens season. The Bills also amazingly finished their season with a perfect 10-0 record at home. Like I said, just 4 teams remain in the conference championship rounds and will do battle on Sunday to see who will advance to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans. The Washington Commanders will head to Philadelphia on Sunday at noon on ESPN, followed by the Chiefs hosting the Bills at 3:30 p.m. on CBS. You don't want to miss out on any of the action, so be sure to tune in for these games on Sunday. Next week, I'll give a recap of these games, but also bring you up to speed on the NFL coaching carousel so far. Last week, I promised to mention some non-football related stories, so I'll fulfill that now to end the show. The National Baseball Hall of Fame's class of 2025 is now complete after Ichiro Suzuki, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner were voted in by the Baseball Writers Association of America in ballot results that were revealed on Tuesday night. They joined electees Dave Parker and the late Dick Allen in an induction ceremony to be held on July 27th at the Clark Sports Center in Cooperstown, New York. This was a ballot with international significance as well, as Ichiro, on his first ballot, became the first Asian-born player selected for the Hall. He nearly became the first position player elected unanimously, falling just one vote shy of that historic standing. Closer Mariano Rivera, a 2019 inductee, remains the only player elected unanimously in the long history of the process. Sabathia was also a first ballot selection, garnering 86.8%, while Wagner gained entry on his 10th and final writer's ballot with 82.5% of support. All three of these players are absolute legends in baseball history and are more than deserving of their immortal spots in the Hall of Fame. With all of that said, make sure to enjoy your weekend full of crucial football games, plus some NBA, NHL, and more if you so choose. Make sure to come right back next week for more news, updates, and highlights from all across the sports world. As always, thank you for tuning in. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
Endorsed by the man himself, the Cream of Clapton Band features family, friends, and bandmates of the legendary guitarist, paying homage to the record-breaking 24 nights at the Royal Albert Hall. This concert includes Clapton classics and rekindles the hits from albums August and Journeyman.
The Cream of Clapton Band at the Pack on March 12. Tickets are $20, $30, and $40 and are available at the Pack box office.
All right, folks, let's take a look at this evening's movie preview. It's called On the Town. It's a film from 1949 starring Gene Kelly, brought to us by City of Hope. On the Town is a vibrant musical about three sailors on a 24-hour leave in New York City seeking adventure and romance. I bet they get themselves into a lot of fun and hopefully a little bit of trouble. We want to remind you folks, remember when I asked you if you had plans for this weekend? Well, it's because I wanted to remind you of the Winter Village Bazaar taking place tomorrow, Saturday, January 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's going to be taking place at the Clubhouse 5 Main Lounge. All kinds of fun wares and secondhand items. If you want to join, you can call 949-597-4382 or email recreation@vmsinc.org to attend. Sounds like a lot of fun. Let's take a look at the 5-day forecast that we've got ahead of us. Today's high is going to be 72, and then we do have that colder system coming in, bringing some rain with it. I think we'll see most of the rain on Sunday. It's going to start Saturday night, so we've got some PM showers on Saturday, raining Sunday, and then tapering off Monday morning with some early morning showers before we see sun on Tuesday. Highs are going to slowly creep down, and then it looks like they're coming back up a little bit. So enjoy it while we have the rain, because we definitely need it. Tomorrow on this day, we have Caring Senior Service with Dean White and Advanced Ear Care with Stuart Spencer. Lovely gentlemen, always a pleasure to have time with them. They're very informative, and you will love those segments. So we'll see you back here then. From all of us here at ThisDay, we hope you make yours a beautiful one.